Hello, fellow Toastmasters. I have 2 sets of 3 tips for you at your meetings. I'm recording this at the end of the second week that we have been confined to home and online with our cameras. So, fellow Toastmasters, firstly, I'd like to congratulate you all for the great quality of your speeches and the great quality of your meetings. I've been really impressed. And I can tell you, I've been to virtual meetings held by technology companies, IT experts, and they are no patch on the quality of meetings that you are delivering as Toastmasters. It might be a new environment, but you really are up to the challenge. I'm really proud of you. So here are my first 3 tips. Now these are for the meeting. So these are 3 tips for your meeting, how you can improve it. Some of you are doing this already, but here they are. The number 1 is use the virtual backgrounds for your timekeepers. The virtual backgrounds allow you to change the color and the picture that's behind you. Use those backgrounds to change color to show the timekeepers lights. And if you're worried about the funny image that you are with the background, then what I do is I just cover the camera. And if you cover the camera, then they'll just see a pitch of light. So use your virtual camera and the virtual backgrounds. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is you can set up polls in advance for the voting. You can set up polls in advance for the voting for the speakers. You can set up polls in advance for the voting for the evaluators. And of course, you're going to tell me you can't set up polls in advance for the table topics because you don't know who's going to be picked. Well, dear Toastmasters, I have a secret for you. It is actually possible for the host that created the meeting to edit and create polls in the meeting. So with a tip-off, or maybe as you go along, the table topics poll can be written into Zoom and then run at the end. This makes voting far easier. And you don't need to share the results at the end of the votes. You can keep them to yourself and then message them on to your president. So that's your 3 tips for making the meetings more fun. Now let's have 3 tips for individuals at the meetings. You, the Toastmasters. Here are 3 observations which I have made on making a better experience for you personally and for you into the camera. The first thing is, look at the camera. Don't look at your picture. If you want to look at your picture, you want to look at yourself, go into the bathroom and look in the mirror afterwards. Don't do it during a meeting. Why? Well, I'm looking at you now and I have a psychological, I have ability to speak properly. I also have a psychological connection with you because I'm looking into your eyes. It's probably spooking out the females on this call, but that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you the attention you deserve. What do you think you feel like if I start doing this? And then talking to you? Because I'm really not looking at you at all. I'm just looking everywhere. I'm looking at all the pretty pictures of all the other people at the meeting. And then I'm looking at my notes because I can't remember what I was going to say. And I'm looking over here. And this is just the same as being in a meeting and ignoring you. Guys, you've got to look in the mirror. You've got to look in the mirror. That is the camera's lens. Just like you do in a normal meeting. Look at the audience. Okay, you say, but how are you going to remember what you're going to say? If you've got notes or little crib sheets or whatever, like I've got one hidden down here, how are you going to do that? Well, come on. Even when we look at people in the stage that we have at Toastmasters, you don't look in people's eyes every second of the time. You look away now and again. You have that sort of thoughtful look down. You know what I mean? So make sure your thoughtful look down looks at the next tip for members. There we are. And now I know what it is. I had a little look down and I now remember. The next thing I want to talk about is your voice. Firstly, don't have a microphone on your laptop and then decide to be clever and stand up 6 feet away from it, because your voice will be heard. Unfortunately, so will all the noises around you. So if you've got next doors doing some drilling, like I have, they've decided they're at home, they'll do some DIY. Unfortunately, it comes into the microphone and it's heard. So stop it. It distracts. And if you are going to wander off, and even if you're not speaking, turn the microphone off. And for those that want to provide a better auditory experience for their clients, because I know you guys are starting to use this for your businesses as well, get a little headset. You can get cheap headsets. I've got one here. I should be able to put my hand on it, but it's moved, so that's good. No, it's here conveniently. So you can get one of these. These are about 20, 30 pounds. Well worth it. Little headset microphone. You can have a boom microphone. A little bit more expensive, but I've got a microphone here on a boom. But what about these little ones? Now, this is a little lavalier. So it's just a little clip-on microphone. This works really well because if it clips on there, it gets my voice. You can hear me easily, and you just find the right plug for whichever computer or device you have. These are even work on the iPhones. For you guys that are slumming it on iPhones to have your Zoom meetings, this works perfectly. So that's your voice. The last thing is something which I've been doing slightly wrong on purpose. The last thing is to use your space. Now, we all know when we're on stage that we have an area to use. But I now have an area here. Okay, I'm looking down for this on purpose because I want to make sure I show you it right. But what I do whenever I start a Zoom meeting is I check out my space. So I'll sit back to however I'm going to sit. So maybe I'm going to sit back here. I'm going to do a nice relaxed time for this Toastmasters meeting. And then I will look at the camera and I will work out how far I can put my hands before they disappear out of view. And then I sort of muscle memory that. So I now know that if I say this or that or something else or both, I know that my hands are inside that space. And I also know at what point they disappear. So if I make a gesticulation down here, you can't see it. I promise you I am, but you can't see it. If I do it here, I know that you can see it because my muscle memory has reminded me that about there, just above my horrible little navel, I am then in camera. So I don't have to talk to you like I'm a robot because I get no feedback from you. I put my hands up and I will talk to you just like I talk to you when I'm on stage. Just me and you in that camera. And that's it. Dear Toastmasters, this is not a challenge. This is an opportunity. As I said at the beginning, many, got all three in there, businesses and individuals are having to use things like Zoom to communicate. And I can tell you, dear Toastmasters, you are miles ahead of them because of your speaking skills. You're not everywhere. Your presentations are miles ahead of them. Your presentations, even in the first meetings I've seen, have been better than many people who are supposed experts and are on camera every week for months. So keep it going. Enjoy yourselves. And I look forward to seeing you at the District 91 conference. Thanks very much. I'm now going to find the button to terminate this call. Bye for now, Toastmasters.